could be a wave of legal challenges to challenge the outcome of the 2024 election, and some might find their way to the U.S. Supreme Court. In 2020, the Trump campaign and its surrogates filed dozens of election challenges. Only one was successful. Let's turn to CBS News legal correspondent Jan Crawford to talk about what might happen in this election. So Jan, give us a sense of the types of cases that could get kicked up to the Supreme Court, and which ones would probably not rise to that level.
Well, Vlad, we've already seen a number of cases going up to the Supreme Court because the Republicans have really changed their strategy this go around, and they're filing a lot more lawsuits before the voting actually happens, before Election Day, as opposed to after the fact. So the court's already had a couple cases where they've been asked to look at, for example, rules on what kind of votes would count after certain deadlines, or how ballots have to be submitted, and whether or not provisional ballots can be required, and dating on that, or also how states manage their voting rolls and their efforts to take voters off the rolls that they believe may be ineligible. So we've seen a couple of those cases. Those are really narrow. One case last week from Pennsylvania, 3 of the conservative justices wrote separately to say, like, this is a really narrow case. And generally the court's message, the Supreme Court's message, and the message it sends to the lower courts is, courts, you need to stay out of this unless you absolutely have to, because it is so close to the election. So that's something I think you're going to see. Courts are going to be reluctant to step in unless they absolutely have to. And I can tell you what, Vlad, this Supreme Court has made very clear they do not want to be deciding the outcome of this election. And honestly, I think we have to think, what would happen if they had to do that? It's not 2000 and Bush versus Gore anymore, and I think there is a really significant concern that if the court were to have to get involved after the fact, after the election, would people respect that decision? I don't know the answer to that. That's kind of an indictment of the times we're in, I think.
100%, Jan. And we've been making a lot about how both campaigns have lawyers ready to go. But is there a difference in, I don't know how to, maybe, I'm trying to think of this question, Jan. You can probably think of it better than I can. But is there a difference in the approach that the Trump campaign would have versus the Harris campaign and the Democrats? I mean, both are ready to fight those legal battles, but it feels like, at least to a lot of people, that there's a different tactic that they would use in challenging results of this election.
You know, that's a great question, and it's kind of hard to quantify because we've seen the RNC really taking the lead on some of the pre-election litigation, so it's a little easier to say. The Republicans are filing lawsuits here, there, and elsewhere. On the Democratic side, we're seeing certain groups, other groups filing some of these lawsuits, like the ACLU or various other civil rights groups. So they're both, it's all hands on deck.
All right, Jan Crawford for us as always. We love having you, Jan. Thank you.